Sunday, how are you doing? And as usual, creator credit time. Thank you, Candice Holmes, for putting together this image and the commentary. We really appreciate it. The truth is, for the full day, Camilla did not look happy at all. She was unable to look the peasants in the eye. She was waving like this, crazily, like this. Sorry, my hand disappeared. Just staring forward. But she looked absolutely miserable. Surrounded by unlimited resources, unlimited time and unlimited money. She's literally married a billionaire and she could not even smile for the day. It just reminds me why this family is so inappropriate, unrelatable and outdated in 2025. They really, really, really do not appreciate how fantastically lucky they are to be in their position of privilege. And because they don't appreciate it, we know that they can also not appreciate the lives of normal, hardworking British families in the UK. They're so removed from reality, they don't even know why they're there. And they're so removed from reality, they've got no idea of how lucky that they actually are. It's time for change in 2025 and 2026. The protests yesterday were significant, to say the least. As ever, comments are open. Let me know what you think.
Thank you, Martin. Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. What we're unpacking today isn't gossip. It's a reality check, the kind you can't unsee once you notice it. Because what just played out in the latest royal appearance wasn't elegance, wasn't charm, it was emotional frostbite dressed up in velvet and gold. Let's call it what it is, an awkward public display of a monarchy that's looking more exhausted than exalted. Charles and Camilla weren't glowing with pride or duty. They looked like two people deeply uninterested in the very spectacle designed to glorify them. And it showed. The whole scene felt staged, but the emotions weren't. Their expressions betrayed them. This wasn't about nerves. This wasn't a blip. This was simmering frustration and thinly veiled apathy. You could see it in the way their eyes glazed over, in the stiffness of their bodies, and in the way they seemed to avoid genuine interaction with the crowd. Camilla's discomfort wasn't subtle. It was screaming silently from every corner of her face. A woman who fought tooth and nail through scandal, whispers, and decades of controversy should be glowing at her moment of victory. Instead, she looked like she wanted to be anywhere else but front and center. Her wave didn't say thank you or I see you. It said, let's get this over with. There was no spontaneity, no warmth, no human spark. She scanned the crowd like someone searching for the exit sign, not like a queen connecting with her people. As Martin said, for someone who now wears one of the highest titles in the land, Camilla came across more like an unwilling participant than a crowned monarch. A life of luxury, yes, but peace? That's something money, jewels, and status clearly haven't brought her. You'd think after ascending to the highest royal pedestal, there'd be at least a shred of fulfillment. But instead of dignity and joy, we saw detachment. Instead of gratitude, we got cold obligation. It's the kind of irony only royalty can deliver, reaching the top of the mountain only to look more lost than ever. Now let's talk about Charles. Because let's be honest, he didn't light up the stage either. This is a man who waited an entire lifetime for this position. And when the moment finally came, he looked like he needed a nap more than a crown. The weariness wasn't just physical, it was existential. It was the face of a man who realized too late that the throne might not be what he imagined it to be. He barely held his posture. His eyes darted from the crowd to the sky like he was searching for a way out. It was almost painful to watch, and when he had to prompt Camilla to wave, it didn't come off as sweet or romantic. It came off as robotic, like a manager reminding a coworker to follow the script. This isn't the majesty people are told to respect. This isn't leadership. This is maintenance, bare minimum royalty. And the cracks aren't hidden anymore. The mask is slipping. No matter how much tradition they drape themselves in, no matter how tight the schedule or polished the optics, emotionally, they're clocked out, checked out, done. Now ask yourself, if the royals themselves aren't inspired by the crown, why should the public be? The magic is evaporating. The mystery is gone. And what's left is a hollow structure propped up by outdated rituals and tired PR spins. Let's be clear, this isn't about age or exhaustion. This is about energy, presence, connection, and none of that was visible. Not from Charles, not from Camilla. What we saw was a monarchy that looks less like a family legacy and more like a job neither of them want anymore. The British public isn't stupid. They can tell the difference between ceremonial distance and actual emotional detachment. They know when smiles are strained and waves are forced. The illusion of divine right only works when the people feel something. But if the faces behind the crown are blank, who's still buying into the myth? This is where the danger lies, not in scandal, but in indifference. Because if the crown has become a chore, a burden rather than a blessing, then the monarchy isn't just outdated, it's hollow. And Camilla, she married into unimaginable wealth, power, and privilege. She has everything most people can only dream of. But no amount of diamonds can fill a soul that looks empty. Karma doesn't have to strike loudly, it whispers. And the quiet discontent that radiates from her face says more than any scandal ever could. Here she is, a billionaire's wife with global status, dressed in couture, waving to adoring crowds, and still she looks more haunted than happy. That's not grace. That's unresolved tension dressed as royalty. And Charles, who once longed for this spotlight, now flinches under it. This was his moment to shine, but instead, he shrank. A king by title but not in spirit. What a letdown. And if you were hoping for some kind of chemistry, some sense of unity between them, don't bother. The cold air between them was thicker than the London fog. Whatever connection they once had, if any, didn't show up to the parade. This wasn't a display of power. It was a portrait of people bound by protocol, not passion. Performing tradition, not leading it. Going through the motions with as much energy as a clock winding down. And if we're being honest, it looked exhausting, for them, for us, for everyone. The British monarchy was built on fantasy. The idea of noble leadership, of inherited grace, of emotional steadiness through chaos. But what we're seeing now is just emptiness. A ceremonial act devoid of soul. And the public feels it. Every stiff smile, every delayed wave, every awkward pause. They're watching closely now, and they're not buying what the palace is selling. At some point, someone has to ask, is this the best the monarchy can offer? Because if these are the figureheads meant to inspire national pride, it's no wonder public sentiment is shifting. To Charles and Camilla, if this is the crown you both fought so hard for, wear it like you mean it. Show us you care or stop pretending. Because if you can't even pretend to enjoy your own moment of glory, how can anyone else be expected to celebrate it? Thanks for tuning in. Drop a comment if you caught that same frost in the air. Let me know what you think. Is this just a bad day, or are we witnessing the slow unraveling of a tired monarchy? Hit that like button, share this with someone who still believes in fairy tales, and subscribe for more unfiltered commentary that cuts through the spectacle. Until next time, keep watching with open eyes and never confuse a title with leadership.